So let's get started. We have to talk about a good person.
We do.
An awesome congresswoman, right? She's newly elected. Her name is Katie Porter. And we have a little history with Katie Porter, don't we, fam?
Right. So Pasta and I followed the ADEM elections and the congressional race in 2018. We were the ones that were interviewing all the candidates in that congressional district of Harley Rauda. And we were also following the ADEMs thereafter in District 71, which is in Orange County, like Irvine area. And so a lot of people have been praising Katie Porter because she puts on a good show, kind of like Elizabeth Warren, when it comes to, you know, talking back to the Republicans. And a lot of the left loves that. Love, like, getting someone there insulting the Republicans. For some reason, that makes you feel like it's effective, even though that really does nothing.
None.
And so she's been getting a lot of, like, progressive push. And so being the independent thinkers that we are, we know that that is not exactly the case. So Katie Porter was actually one of the establishment people running. She supported Harley Rauda. She took the corporate PAC money. She also did a couple of things that were actually looked down upon and actually, I think, to a point, downright illegal. So recently, AOC made a tweet asking people to support Katie Porter in her re-election bid, but her record, of course, and run power leave much more to be desired. Although she's not the worst. I mean, I agree, she's not the worst. She ran and won in a swing district that would have been red. And if you are the type of person that is vote blue no matter who, then of course you're going to see that as a victory. She also helped subvert progressive delegates from taking over, directly prevented them from taking over. And for starters, the assembly delegates, just so you guys know who are from California, vote on the endorsement of party candidates and on bills and on resolutions. So this is why she wasn't supposed to be there, because she, as an elected congressperson in 2018, this is 2019 when these ADEMs were held, her presence and her handing out flyers is completely wrong, because her weight on a slate is obviously going to influence a lot of people. So Johnny showed the tweet, and I basically also repeated that same thing. And the slate that she kind of pushed against was our Revolution slate, one that a lot of our progressive Bernie crap friends were in. And she made a whole slate. She had a slate of corporate funded delegates. And the whole thing that happened in these ADEMs was, it wasn't a well-regulated event.
Nope.
We were there from the beginning.
Nope.
It was a mess. There were long lines. They weren't checking people's registrations. They were also busing people in. They were, doing the whole establishment thing. Here's a bunch of cupcakes and a bunch of donuts. This is why you vote for me. Okay, that's fine. But they were not checking people's registrations. And Katie Porter was there in her bright orange shirt, as we're going to see shortly. Yeah. And she was kind of she had flyers in her hands of the delegate she supported. And that's not right at all.
Yeah.
So
let me just kind of build upon that real quick, because what the ADEM process is, and when Fiorella and I saw this taking place, now we went to ADEMs in Orange County.
51.
We went to inner city LA.
Highland Park.
We went to our district. We went to another city in LA. We went to like 4 of them. So we've gotten a lot of footage. I was actually, filmed a lot of the candidates running for ADEM, and they run in these slates. And the objective is that if you get these slates, now if you're a congressman, like Harley Rauda is now, like Katie Porter is now, like Katie Hill is now, if you get your delegates in, your particular delegates that you want, you can then control the endorsement process. You can get the endorsement process. With the endorsement comes money, comes funding, comes recognition. So you really have a great advantage of pushing yourself forward if you're an establishment candidate and you get these delegates to roll with you.
Right.
So during this delegate process, it's not against the rules for the Congress people to show up, but they're not supposed to influence or instigate in any way.
Which is what she was doing.
Katie was the worst of all of them. She had, when she says this bright orange shirt on we're going to talk about, she also had the people in her slate wore bright orange shirts. So instead of just standing off to the side, because the very first one I saw was Judy Chu, and she was in the district where I saw my friend Melissa Michelson running, and Judy Chu kind of stayed out of the fray. and which kind of cool. She didn't influence anybody. She showed up there. Her presence was minimal, and then she left. Same thing with Chris Holden. Chris Holden came after. He was very neutral. He didn't say anything to anybody. He didn't influence any slate. He really didn't have a heavy hand to push in the slates. But in certain other areas, the other district we went to, where our good friend Tina Berg Desiree Berg, she was running, and it was just all
she wasn't running.
craziness. She wasn't.
She wasn't running. She was reporting.
She was supporting a slate.
She was reporting and supporting the progressive slate. And what happened is Wendy Carrillo, who's another congressperson that's corrupt, that ran as a progressive, started bussing people in.
Yeah.
And she started filming it. And if you guys recall, we've actually talked about it before on
Pictures
the
of
show.
the bus.
We had the pictures,
Yeah.
and she started filming it, and a woman came in and hit her, made her bleed, and tried to take her phone. And all of this was caught on camera. Yeah. And also, they stopped checking registrations the moment that bus got there. And they kicked us out. Mark Gonzalez is another party insider in California. And he was keeping tabs on us because he knew we were there just to interview people.
Every time he sees me, fam, he was at the banking party.
Away.
He's like, me and Johnny saw him on the KDM floor. Hey, Mark, you want to come over and do an interview? He's like, in a minute. And he looks down. He's like telling his friend, look over here like I'm important. Now point the other way. And let's walk away. Like, they do all those tricks. They don't want it. A microphone scares these people. Mark Gonzalez is one of them. I give him the opportunity. I have questions aside for him if he ever wants to take them. I'll see him again at the convention in Long Beach. We will ask him again. But the ADEM process, what we're talking about, and I've said this before, fam, we should just eliminate delegates.
Absolutely.
Just eliminate them.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm at. I was at it before because this party is such the insider party, especially in California, because not only do they control the ADEM process, they have the PLEOs, the second delegate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have all these ways and mechanisms where they can control the money.
It's pretty much super delegates too.
Oh, they are super delegates.
Statewide. Apart from the
did the show on it. It's amazing. So,
and not to mention, before we go on this video, Maria Estrada is another district where she recently just got attacked and she figured out this guy was a supporter of Anthony Rendon and a party insider, the one who attacked her.
Yeah.
And she was attacked, and then they turned it around and jailed the guy who tried to defend Maria, again, accusing him with a felony charge. And he did get it out because there wasn't enough evidence. But the police were working in tandem with the corrupt Democratic Party. I mean, we're showing you multiple examples of this. This has been happening ongoing. She was talking about missing ballots. She went in there to protest at a meeting about the missing ballots. We talked about this on the show as well. And then, she had a bullhorn and they were protesting, and all of a sudden the guy attacks her. And at the end of the day, nothing's been resolved. Her ADEM was also rigged, and she was a serving ADEM, and then after she ran against Anthony Rendon, and then she ran as a delegate, that's when they were like, no, we can't have this woman here, and they completely do not respond to any sort of election fraud. They gaslight you. They make you look like you're a conspiracy theorist, like you're wrong. And this is happening all over California, especially Southern California, that are the most corrupt, I swear. And
like, the last one we went to in San Francisco where you guys sent us, like literally sat in those hearing rooms, me and Johnny, and they're just admitting to their cheating.
Brothers,
but the math wouldn't end up. Oh, what's going? And the whole thing is the ADEM process has become a way for the progressives to block the automatic endorsement. They just want these people to campaign and win straight up. No strings attached, no help, no insider look. That's what they want, and that's what the ADEM process has begun. So they've been able to block some endorsements. Even like last time when they tried to hold Pat Harris out, Pat Harris in there, so he took enough away from De Leon where De Leon didn't get the endorsement. So it's been a way of trying to block the endorsement just to make these guys campaign straight up with no strings attached, to have a fair democratic election.
Right. And these, again, the importance is these delegates vote on endorsing candidates for the party. This is why you see of such a centrist neoliberal hold on California, because these delegates, they are kind of coerced into also supporting these candidates, and they are threatened. If you don't vote for this candidate, we're going to strip you of your delegation. You're not going to be able to grow in the party. So again, it's the whole tactic of you got to play the game or we're going to push you out. We have to stop playing the game their way. We have to take over in a different way and not lose our integrity. And I see this happening in California, but also on a national level. So let's just play the video. Because it's not very long, but it's a whole video that made just so you guys get a feel.
What are you doing here today? Tell us who you are and what you're doing.
So I'm pushing the Progressive Caucus, including Tim Johnson, Ann Moore, J.C. Ionello.
Nice. We're going to go and see some speeches. We're here, Assembly District for ADEMs. A big line, big turnout in Orange County. Glad we made the drive up. How are you doing? Can we get a picture?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much. Well, we're just what are you doing out here today?
I'm just helping. I'm voting for one thing.
You are?
I'm in the 74th, so I'm
Okay.
here to vote.
All right.
Okay?
Can I ask you a question and stuff like that? Can we film a little bit? I have one question.
No,
now.
because I'm on full.
You are? All right. I hear you. I guess you didn't want to answer the question. A congresswoman out here kind of supporting ADEMs, kind of power grabbing.
I helped with Harley's GOTV and was fortunate enough to see him sworn in from the comfort of his office in DC. Over the last 26 months, I've...
So someone said you guys are working on an honor system today. Is that what's going on? You guys are checking IDs, or you guys no ID checking today? Everyone can vote. That's it. Nothing. Nobody's getting checked.
They'll get checked. There's a random checking of votes.
A random checking. How many people get checked?
I don't know. I don't think it's done here.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
You like the orange shirts, fam?
Yeah.
That's a genius. That was the only place we saw that idea. Leave it to Orange County to say, hey, look at my orange shirt, and she's working the line, and as people are coming into the building, there's the slate all in one group with their orange shirt, pointing to the people who to vote for, and now you can bring people in, and guess what, fam?
They won. They won, by the way.
So, fams,
her slate won.
Real quick, the ADEM elections, the ADEMs, they are like assembly district delegates.
Right. So
Exactly.
it's assembly district delegates.
Right.
People.
Which is when they vote for what?
They vote for party endorsements.
Yep.
And the congressional races and everybody, like
Everything in California.
everything
So, like,
in
for
California.
Shahid
So like
Buttar,
yes,
They
exactly.
can be delegates.
Yeah.
Delegates. Those are state assembly district for when you run in your assembly district, you're running for a state party delegate.
Okay, and you all just saw, all our fams, you just saw our friend Zach Prudian. He went. He's not even like a resident of California. He was visiting from Florida, and he went and he could have voted in this ADEM election.
if he wanted
So
to.
after that video, Zach he was doing this investigation for us, right? So he went in and he went through the line as if he could have voted, and it wasn't that part of it. And then
Yeah.
he was like, oh. So you guys aren't checking anything. And that's when he realized, holy crap, I could have voted. And these are the mechanisms that they use. And Maria Estrada talked about it many, many times. And I don't think enough people have heard her. Oh, yes, they don't check registration. They literally stop checking registration at certain times when certain people come in. And then they let anybody vote because that's how these people are able to maintain their influence. They also get congressional people like Katie Porter and Wendy Carrillo to bust people in and bring their own slates. And they can't. You guys saw the flyers in her hand. That was her slate. So a lot of these slates are created by 7 men and 7 women who run in a district. Now the slates are a way that the establishment has used to sort of power grab and power concentrate so a congressperson can be like, oh, well, so-and-so is a good slate. And they basically have taken it upon themselves to copy what progressives have done. Progressives don't have the money and the infrastructure to even have all of these handouts and all these things. So, of course, these people go, and with the help of congressional people, they tend to win these slates, which is why a lot of us lost our seats in this past election. But also, if you are a mayor or a city council person, there is no rule to say you can't run as a delegate, which is ridiculous to me. You're already a mayor or a city council person. Why are you running as a delegate?
Yeah.
That's a consolidation of power.
Oh, yeah. And they have appointees, the pleos parts. These are just the 7 men and 7 women on the ground level who get to vote.
Per assembly district.
Just like last time, Kimberly Ellis won this vote, and she won the vote against Bauman. But when it came to the pleos or the pledges, the ones that are appointed by the legislation. In other words, DeLeon got some appointees. Holly Rauter's going to get some appointees. Katie Porter's going to get some appointees. They're only going to appoint people who play ball.
Right.
So that's why Rusty Hicks won the chair this time, is because he had all the appointees, the pleos, which we call super delegates.
Right.
And they should just eliminate this whole system.
And we were
I'm saying it right now.
We were talking about the three legs of the stool,
three
right?
legs of the
so
stool,
it's,
my man.
Assembly, ADEM delegates, right?
Yep.
And then the pleos?
I think the pleos are part of the
Yeah.
the second stool, and then there's the...
I think it's the...
Sorry.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
so, yeah. So as you can see, the system is very corrupt directly in California, and we are calling them out consistently and constantly, but we need more attention drawn to this. And this gets very wonky and very difficult for people to understand because it's a lot of terms that you may not know if you're in other states, but I guarantee you this happens everywhere, not just in California. But it is awful in California because we're known as the progressive state when we are anything but on the party level. Our state party is so corrupt, and there are people in there who call themselves progressive who turn around and support people like Elizabeth Warren, Atkins brothers, and and talk against people like Nina Turner who are actually just speaking truth. So this is why I wanted to bring that to light, because I am very disappointed that AOC is pushing somebody like Katie Porter, but I also think this is like California information she probably has no idea about. She just sees Katie Porter doing her thing in Congress. She probably has no idea
But
what
didn't she
is
make
happening.
a bunch of friends here? Couldn't she give us a call or something? It's like we all met her and stuff. She wants to know what's going on over here in California.
We all had breakfast with her.
I mean, seriously, we talked about this a long time ago when it came to Katie Porter. We wouldn't support her because we knew she was in the bag. She was running in a very red district of sorts in Orange County, and she has very much got a lot of conservative kind of mentality when it comes to certain things. And certainly when it comes to tipping the scales over here, the rule is you can't wear the same shirt, right? So she has an orange Katie Porter shirt, and the other ones have an orange shirt with the same color writing. So it's just, I mean, it's a really slick
and also the way
tactic.
she ran away from pasta was very telling.
Did you see that?
Just a very typical
She was
politician.
very scared. Like, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm just here, Ha, ha.
First of all, I'm going to vote. I'm allowed to vote. Well, yeah, but you shouldn't be voting, really, to tell you the truth. This is about democracy, and you should stay out of it. But I've said it from the get-go, and I'll say it again. They should eliminate this delegate process. It's just stupid. No endorsements. Just let these people run straight up. Let them run straight up.
Let just people vote on it, like the people.
The people
like the
are the
general
delegates.
People. Yeah.